What's up again, everybody? Believe it or not, we are only about a week away from the release of the brand new WWE Dice Masters set. And I don't know about you, but I think it is time to take a look at some absolutely amazing new cards from the upcoming set. And obviously, it goes without saying, but there are major spoilers ahead. Now, the past few spoilers I have done myself, but today we're going to talk about 6 different cards, so I thought I'd bring a guest along with me. But I don't just have any guest this time. Oh no, today we have the 2019 Dice Masters US National Champion. That's right, the 2018 Dice Masters World Champion, the organizer of the One Big Weekend World Tournament Series, the co-creator of the hit Dice Masters podcast, Rollin' Thunder. This man can speak 2,300 different languages, and he knows everything that there is to know about WWE. It is Weapon-O himself, Arj O'Neill. What's up, Arj?
Oh, yeah, brother. I am the undisputed world champion, and there is no one better than me. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on, Steven. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here on the DM Armada, and let's sail the 7 seas, shall we?
I think we shall. Let's do it. I'm excited. I don't know if you're excited about these cards, but I think they are pretty sweet.
They're really good. It's funny. This set reminds me a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh set in the sense that people kind of, we're as familiar with that IP and kind of past it, but don't pass this set if you play Dice Masters. It'll be to your detriment. There's a lot of really fun new mechanics and powerful cards in here. So it's going to be fun.
Oh my God, I totally agree. The more I look at these cards, the more I see like just one card that pops out. Oh, that looks really cool. Or there's another one, or there's another one. And it just keeps happening, which is a good sign for a set.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones I think you're going to have to play it to really get the full feel of it because you think like, oh, this will work, this will work. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Oh, that will work. Oh, wow, that'll be good. There's all these kind of fun little intricacies that I think are subtle and will only come alive once you get all this stuff on the board.
And the beauty of it too is it's not just the campaign box. You're going to find just really cool cards in the team packs as well, which cards we're actually going to talk about today. We're talking about some cards that are featured in the 2 team packs that will release alongside of the campaign box. Those team packs are the Bitter Rivals team packs and the Tag Team team packs. These cards highlight some interesting additions and reintroductions to the Dice Masters world, including a new keyword which can be found on this very first card. Arj, would you care to do the honors and explain Seth Rollins for us?
All right, my great pleasure. He's a Shield affiliation, so that's a new affiliation in the game. Hybrid athlete, and he's got tag out. So tag out is the new keyword in the set, and it's an awesome new combat ability. I'm going to read it right from the keywords page. It is tag out. After blockers are declared, you may prep this die from the field zone to give target character die +2A and +2D until end of turn. Lots of shenanigans in there for all you combat happy people.
That's right. And not only that, he also on his card says, when Seth Rollins attacks, all sidekicks must block a Seth Rollins superstar die if able, which is pretty cool because he's got that sort of, I call it almost like a pseudo taunt ability. Everything's got to just come at him.
Yeah. We call it, or the curtain pull, I like to call it over here. It reminds me a lot of the Casey Jones that used to do something similar, but with villains as well.
That's right.
And in this set where you're trying to punch through with a lot of combat damage, that is a powerful ability. Especially works really well, I think, with some big beefy overcrusher. Hello, Becky Lynch. She jumps to mind, but you could pair this with a lot of cards. Like I think that Kree Captain that gets gigantic would be really nasty with this if you could throw a little overcrush on him.
Well, this is even just good. The tag out ability is even just good alongside of a sidekick, right? So let's say your opponent has a couple sidekicks in the field and nothing else. You attack with this and a sidekick. Now your sidekick is, straight up unblocked and a 3/3 if you use the tag out ability, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's it. I think it's a powerful card.
Agreed. Oh, one thing we didn't point out. This is the return of the crossover character die.
Yeah.
This has 2 energy types, of which you have to spend both in order to purchase this, which is actually kind of hilarious because it's the hybrid athlete, and you actually do have to pay a bolt and a shield in order to purchase this, along with those 4. So if you don't know what that essentially means, you just have to pay Bolt, Shield, and then 2 other energies in order to purchase this Seth Rollins die. The next card also is a crossover, and this is one of my favorite wrestlers ever, and also one of my favorite Dice Masters abilities ever. This is Sting, the Vigilante. He is a 3-drop crossover character in the form of a Mask Shield. So you're going to have to pay Mask, Shield, and then whatever other energy. He's a New World Order affiliated character. He's got an 021, an 023, and a 133 stat line, which looks really familiar, especially when you look at the ability that he has. He has Cross Pulse, immediately field this Sting Superstar die at level 1. So if you don't recognize this ability, and I'll explain Cross Pulse in a bit, but this is the rebirth or the reintroduction of the old school Green Arrow and the Flash Katana, super rare Katana ability, which absolutely just blows my mind. I absolutely love that ability, and the ability to just like pay for something and have it come into the field immediately and do work is super cool.
Yep. It's going to be really good on anybody who likes to play team up teams because suddenly he's coming in, another body with a new affiliation. Hello, buffs, right?
And if you don't remember what cross pulse actually means, I will read the exact wording of cross pulse off of the keywords page. Cross pulse is a special version of impulse found only on crossover characters. When you purchase this die, that's the normal impulse ability, but when you purchase this die by only spending their matching energy types, you get to use their cross pulse ability. So in order to actually trigger this effect, you're going to have to pay like shield, shield, mask, or mask, mask, shield. You can't use a question mark to sub in for one of those energy types. So if you want him to come out into the field, you're going to have to pay shield, shield, mask, or mask, mask, shield, which is a really cool, really balanced way of giving us this ability back again. Because rolling just a single question mark with 2 other energy was a lot easier. So now we have to do a little bit more work. But I still think it's absolutely amazing and super fun.
Yeah, and it's hard to. There's not many cards besides Blob and somebody else I shouldn't name at the moment who can stop you from buying something. So it's as long as you have the right energy, it's on demand in the field, which is pretty powerful. Well, coming up next, the favorite bionic redneck of wrestling here, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Another huge superstar, big name in the professional wrestling world. He's got a couple of really good cards, and we're going to talk about one right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bionic redneck. He's a 6-cost fist, and he's got the WWE affiliation. While Stone Cold Steve Austin is active, whenever you refill your bag, you may move up to 3 sidekick dice from your bag to the use pile before drawing or continuing to draw dice. So he is some really interesting bag control. Reminds me a little bit of the Rip Hunter and the Nebula that woo things to use after you drew, but this goes right from your bag to your used pile.
That's right.
And there's all kinds of shenanigans you can pull with that in terms of making sure you get the right amount of dice in. Not only just that, but say you want to have sidekicks in use to do Mimic or to do, Professor X Global or, geez, there's a lot of reasons. And he allows you to do that. And anytime there's a card that kind of allows you to fundamentally change just the basic rules of the game like this, there's something to be examined there.
Definitely. And the cool thing about this card in my eyes is it happens not only just at the beginning of your step, it also happens whenever you refill your bag during your turn. And what it essentially looks like is you're going to take everything that you haven't used, you're going to put it into your bag first, and then his ability will go off. Meaning that before you draw whatever dice you're going to, do stuff with, you get to
Yep.
go into your bag and take 3 sidekicks out and put them down. So you bag thin every single time, like increasing your chances and your odds of pulling the dice that actually matter. So like
Right.
this works great with investigation or anything that basically wants you to draw and roll dice. Because if you wanted to draw and roll a character that you purchased, all of a sudden you have a much better chance of drawing and roll a character that you purchase. So it's like
That's
it's like a weird version of Dark Side, the super rare Dark Side, in the sense that like that was always rolling your entire bag. This
Yep.
is like almost guaranteeing that you're going to roll good stuff from your bag, which is super cool.
Yeah, and if you have a way, you're thinking of that dark side, if you have a way to keep on swarming and drawing, it would work because these dice aren't going to transition or out of play. They're going right back into used.
That's
So,
correct. Yeah.
you know, there's shenanigans and hijinks to be had with this card.
Super cool. Speaking of shenanigans and hijinks, there's also shenanigans and hijinks with this next card, and I'm
Is
already
it?
smiling because it's so stupid. This is Lita, fan favorite, a four-cost Bolt character with that WWE affiliation and 031141252 stat line that we've actually seen before. She says while she's active, at the end of your roll, and I can't even get through it, it's just too funny. Oh my God. At the end of your roll and reroll step, you can spin any number of your sidekick dice to their level 1 superstar face. So what does this do? Essentially, no matter what you roll, you have now rolled 4 sidekicks.
Yeah.
That's so
So sick.
stupid. That is
Can
just
we
so
say,
stupid.
how well does this pair with your one of your favorite new
Oh
cards,
my
Steve? The
God.
yawning portal in
This is
this?
so good. This card is so good. It's so
There's so
dumb.
yeah,
Oh
there's
my
so
God.
many there's so many things. I mean, just even playing at the most simple basic level is put it on a sidekick team, right? I mean, that Batman that gives your sidekicks +2 when you attack with this card is just so sick.
Hmm.
Play it with Mimic, you're just ramping for days. There's so many things you can do. Play it with
Play it with
the
Atlantis, maybe? I don't know. Just
oh
go for
god, yeah.
Atlantis. Perhaps that's
Oh,
good.
yeah. How about Iceman and what's
Techno,
the
you
go
just spin them all the
Techno,
bolts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got plenty of bolts to ping your Iceman. There's
Ugh.
so many uses for this card. I mean, you have to slow down to get it, but once you get it, wow, is it worth it, right?
And it can be pinged out on 2 different levels, and it costs 2 on the top. So, and it's 4, so you do have to
Right.
invest in it. So it's not like the most broken thing in existence, but it is super good.
Yes, it
It's
yes,
so
it is.
cool. Oh my
Yes,
God. Now, this was my pick for cards I wanted in this spoiler. Like, I really liked this card, probably more than any of the other ones we picked, just because it makes me laugh. But the next one is one that you picked. Do you want to give us
yes.
that one?
All right, I will give you the background out of absolutely. I love it partly because I am a little bit on the older side of the scene, and I remember meeting Mr. the Brain Bobby Heenan here, a really funny classic one-liner guy. He was the guy who knew how to sour the crowd to sweeten the purse, and old Heenan had a lot of really funny, he just was the way to do it. And he was a famous manager, so he represented a lot of people like Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy and all the Heenan family. And so his ability on this card, the Brain, which he liked to call himself, was his ability is when fielded, target level 3 superstar die can't be blocked. Right?
Oh,
And in this set, that is so mean
that's
because
super good.
and it's super thematic too, because he's the guy who would, like trip somebody from outside the ring or distract the ref at the right time or whatever. He was always like, his other card is the Weasel because he was kind of a scumbag, right? But you pair him with a big beat stick, and there's a new global in this set that will be really nasty with him too. But even in something simple like the OP Colossus with huge stats or Becky Lynch, right? And you pair that with the common Yarnbjorn, you can do 20 damage in one go.
Like,
So,
what if you just put this with Fix It, Like,
oh
what if
yeah, oh
this you
yeah,
just pair this with Fix It or
yeah.
the new
Oh,
Maiden Ireland from this set?
exactly. Game over right in one turn. So it is a mean card. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the MJ from the Spider-Man set way
Yeah,
back
yeah,
when.
yeah, yeah.
So the timing is the issue on this. So I think when you play this card, you're going to have to play it with something like the Nihilor Global to get them cycling around so you can
Hmm.
line everything up properly. But it's a powerful card. And I just love the die too. It's got a brain on it. So yeah.
Exactly right. This is one that is like, I don't know. For me, I seriously consider this being something that should be looked at for competitive play because the ability to make something unblockable and be able to cycle it so easily with something like Nihilor Global, as you mentioned, is definitely worth considering. And it's like, wow, maybe combat damage is a thing, you know?
Yep.
And then you
Yep.
look at our last card, which might have something to say about that. Our last card is Big E, Powerlifter's Physique. Another 4 cost crossover character, the Mask Shield crossover, an 014, 125, 127 stat line, so he's not getting KO'd anytime soon. And he says, while he's active, any combat damage to you that is more than 2 is reduced to 2. I hope he didn't want to push that giant thing through because as long as Big E's out there, it's just not going to do anything, which is just so good.
And the other thing is there's the Phoenix Taunt Global is back in the set, guys, you know. So you play that with this guy and you just take their big thing and you just taunt it off the field. And you take 2 and you know, you say, thank you very much. I'd rather take 2 than 10 and you know, live for another day.
Yeah. But I'm glad that this is around, and it's on a hard to get die. It's a crossover, and it's cost
Mhm.
4, so this isn't just going to slam down immediately. You are going to have to invest in this, either in energy types, just rolling a bunch of energy to try and get that, or in some card slots on your team, investing in some way to get this a little easier. But that being said, the fact that it exists and it's approachable in scope and purchase cost is really, really cool, I think, for just the game of Dice Masters going forward. There's a lot of little tiny counters. It's going to be really interesting to see how the meta shapes around these cards.
For sure. And it's nice to have it in set too, because some of these sets, I think this set especially, will lend itself to doing a campaign box draft and team pack
Hmm.
draft. And the
Yeah,
fact that he's here and he can be such a good counter to some of the huge weapons that are out there is useful.
definitely. So, what is your overall opinion of these 6 cards, Arj?
I think they're strong. And, you know, the scary thing is that as I'm looking at these cards, there are other versions of these cards that are equally, if not better, in some cases. So as you're looking at this, if you think these are good, just keep your eyes peeled. There are a lot of good cards. It has like kind of, the set is really cooking when you have that kind of Constantine problem of which one do I pick? They're all so good.
That's
And there's
right.
some of that going on in this set, and it's going to depend on how you want to build. You know, if you're a kind of builder who likes to do Johnny stuff, you're going to pick these cards, and if you like to just do aggro, crush you in the face stuff, you're going to pick these other cards. And I think it's great that there is this variety of cards that will satisfy so many of the builders that are out there.
And I think a lot of these abilities are super thematic and fun as well, which I think most people are really going to appreciate, especially if you're coming from a WWE background.
Yeah. And I think a lot of them work really well with the actions that are in set as well. So there's some good synergies in here. And that's what kind of really struck me when I got to take a look at these cards at first, thinking, wow, there's a lot of fun synergies going on.
Definitely. Thank you, Arj, for hopping on with us. We should.
As Bobby Heenan would say, the honor was all yours.
Now, if
No, honestly, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
if anyone wants to check out your stuff, where can they find your podcast?
Thank you very much for the little promo plug here. Yeah, we're at rollandthunder.xyz. That's rolling with no apostrophe, no G. And you can subscribe via all the links on the homepage there. Really easy. Just click and subscribe and listen. You can listen directly from the homepage as well. We are going to be dropping a WWE episode the day before the set releases. So tune into that if you're interested and all that good stuff.
All right, everybody, if you enjoyed this video, if you like these cards, give us a like and a comment down below telling us which one is your favorite. And as always, thanks for watching.